You would not believe what happened yesterday. I was in Holland and I was walking to a grocery store. I saw a teenager lean his bike against the meter and dash over to the only empty parking spot on the street. Then he stood in the parking spot, waving his arms to keep cars out of the spot. I thought he was crazy, and I was a little bit worried that he might make some of the drivers mad. But then I saw, and others did too. We saw what he was doing. Up the road, there was this little old lady standing by her car, wringing her hands in worry. She clearly had been unable to park, and she was worried about driving, looking for a spot. So she'd kind of just given up and was starting to worry. The boy called to her. Ma'am, ma'am, he said, clearly not knowing her name. Then he gestured her over and helped her park. When the woman's car finally eased into the parking spot, the people all around seemed to be excited and congratulating the young man. And I felt like doing that too. I just walked by, but the incident stayed with me. I thought, wow, I should put this on Twitter. But then I realized that 140 characters wouldn't do the event justice. So I decided to do what journalists do and write a newscast, which is a short news story that reports on an incident. Newscasts are to the point, and they convey the 5 W's in a concise, straightforward manner. I pulled out my pen, and then I thought, so what is the who, what, when, where, and why of this event? Here's the start of the newscast I wrote. As I read it, let's check off that I got the 5 W's. If you hear this answering one of them, count them off on your fingers. Last evening, a Holland teenager hopped off of his bicycle at a store in downtown Holland. He darted on foot into an empty parking spot nearby. Newscasters, do you see that I told this story in as concise a manner as possible, front-loading all the information, the important information, so that I could intrigue and teach my reader? Well, now it's your turn. Go back to the lesson to see what's next.